Let's quickly go back to Bidvest Wits Stadium, where Tshepo Tobane is standing by to preview the match between Wits and Mamelodi Sundowns. Tshepo, I was also saying Sundowns obviously drew their last game with Black Leopards last weekend with their own goal by Dennis Onyango, the goalkeeper. But it's still their title to lose, wouldn't you say?
Hello again, Kate. I mean, it's still within their hands. Why I'm saying this is because they've got 2 games in hand. So meaning if they manage to beat Wits this afternoon, it means they are going to go top of the table. I mean, they are the defending champions. They are playing against a team that won the league in the 2017-2018 season. So it promises to be a very interesting encounter. And many pundits, Kate, are saying this is sort of like a league decider for both teams. They are saying whoever wins this encounter, it means he's going to be, or the team is going to be able to win the league. We shall see. I mean, these are big rivals. I mean, you're talking about experienced coaches that have won the league before. I mean, we talk about Kevin Hunt. He knows how to win the league. We talk about Pitso Mosimane. He also knows how to win the league. So it promises to be fireworks this afternoon. I
mean, we focus a lot on the team, but when you look at the 2 coaches, as you mentioned, Pitso Mosimane and Kevin Hunt, they have a lot more in common than they do differences, don't they?
Yes, Kate. I mean, these are 2 coaches. In fact, maybe arguably one of the 2 top coaches that we have here in the country. The only difference, maybe one, I can suspect that you look at Pitso Mosimane, he's done well in all competitions here locally, and including in the CAF Champions League. He's won the league. Whereas you look at Kevin Hunt, he's still yet to prove himself on the African continent when it comes to African competitions. But the rivalry between these 2 coaches is amazing. Neither of the coaches wants to lose to either one of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to be panning out today.
You mentioned that that Mamelodi Sundowns have a game in hand. Pito often say that game in hand does not mean points. So what is he looking at this game and in terms of going forward with the league the rest of the season when you look at those 2 games in hand?
Well, Kate, I mean, looking at the time when Wits won the league, that was in the 2017-2018 season. I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns were playing in CAF competitions, and they were in a similar position where they had a lot of games in hand, but unfortunately, they could not manage to collect the points that they needed to win the league. Now we are facing a similar position. What Pitso Mosimane will want from his players is to win all their games. Games in hand are not points in hand. So this is an opportunity for them to play against the league leaders. What a huge boost for Sundowns. That is if they manage to beat West, because emotionally it's going to be, in fact psychologically it's going to be on Sundowns' favor, because they would have beaten the log leaders and going at the top of the log. So it's going to be interesting to see the approach. The game is being played here at Bidvest Stadium. It's a small stadium, a small pitch that Wits likes to, especially playing against the so-called big teams, he likes to suppress them. Whether it's going to his tactics are going to be successful this afternoon, we want to see. But it promises to be a great game, but it's all in Sundowns' favor. They are the advantage. They are the favorites actually to win this afternoon. Let
me pick it up on what you just said now about Sundowns being the favorites. Maybe Bidvest Wits deserve a little bit more credit when it comes to build-ups of games like this, because they've proven their title credentials. As you've mentioned, 2016, 2017 was a good year for them. Do they deserve more respect going into these games?
Kate, Wits will always deserve respect. I mean, that's why they have a quality coach in Kevin Hunt. You can't take them lightly, especially looking at, they had a taxing week. You look at last week where they had to play a Nedbank Cup game twice against the Black Leopards, and they played again on Monday and winning that encounter. So you cannot take them lightly, but they are coming up against a Sundowns team that wants to correct. I mean, their last game at home, they played a draw. This is a team, a highly ambitious team under the tutelage of Coach Pitso Mosimane. You cannot take them lightly at all. But it's going to be interesting to see, especially the lineups. We want to see the lineups. You mentioned earlier, Dennis Onyango made a mistake in their game against Polokwane City in midweek. A costly mistake because it cost them 2 points. Whether it's going to start this afternoon, it's a big question, but I think they will go definitely with Dennis Onyango. He's proven himself. He's one of the best keepers we have on the African continent. So we can't wait to see the lineups this afternoon.